story of another day in my life, and this is the exclusive intellectual property of God Electronic Army Press and of the what we call the small axe production, the small axe that is sharpened to cut you down, real sharp. What I want to show you here today is a continuation of a series of videos that have been taken in my neighborhood, in my community at the fairways of Ridgeview, that have been impacted by hail damage and where many people are moving to get their roofs replaced. And the roofs are being, what you see here is a situation where I stopped to take a picture of a truck that takes the trees and mulches it right away. And I wanted to send that photograph to some individuals in a foreign country. This Chinese man will come up and try to attack me and ask me why am I taking picture. He comes all the way out into the road. And that shows he has no respect. He has no recognition for me as a human being. But let's continue here. All these houses you see here, they're being roofed without a city permit and without any application pursuant to the CCR of the HOA and of this community. None of them has applied for permission from the Architectural Control Committee or documented what they're doing with the roofs and what the materials are or anything like that. This is, so right here you're seeing a roof replacement. The address is on there somewhere. You see the workers are taking their little siesta. One thing I want you to know, Plano is a sanctuary city. It's a so-called fake Republican conservative city that claim they're anti-immigrant. But so long as you're an immigrant willing to work for substandard wages, Plano has a place for you. Plano has a place for you. And that's why I want you to know that Plano is a sanctuary city. No matter what they tell you, Plano is a sanctuary city.
While we wait, we play the music that the ancestors from Jacob to all the others will hear us and they will come to our aid. Everyone is our friend, every ancestor is a saint. They don't have to be a direct family member. God bless Kassav. God bless Jacob. Long live the memories of Kassav and the great gifts they have given to us.
As you see here, there's another project with
You see, the ancestors have already blessed me with 2 cucumbers. It's the first crop. And I have to make a sacrificial offering unto the gods of these crops. The question is, do I sacrifice both or do I sacrifice one? Given that we have 2 altars of worship, I think I'll sacrifice one and cut it in half and put half in each other so that all of the gods may be pleased and they know that we have honored them. We have honored them in the way that they're worthy to be honored. I wanted to show you something else. I want to show you what's getting ready to happen over here because we've got all these seeds. We've got all these kale seeds, which I don't believe I've harvested most of them. And I'm not sure when exactly to harvest them. I probably need to prop this tree up, which I will in a minute. And over here I have carrot seeds. And I have lettuce. And all of these are just going to break apart and fall all over the yard and grow wild and keep growing and making seeds again. And I want the carrots to be here so the rabbits can have a safe haven. And these are the corn seeds that I just threw in the yard at random, and they grew. So I'll take this stick, which is from my yard, and I'm going to use it to prop up this kale plant so that it can, its seeds can get mature. They can get mature and they can propagate throughout the yard. Well, this thing isn't sharp enough to go into the ground. And all over there are cantaloupes, and there are wild spinach. I want to tell you the story about the wild spinach that my son used to feed me with, and how it showed up here in Plano. And I used to try to eradicate it until I came to realize that it was a sign from God and a sign from the ancestors. And I'm making a little progress here and there, and I have all these weeds to pull out, and maybe before the night is over I'll get most of them, and if not, I'll try again tomorrow. But while I go along, I offer what I pick up from the yard into the fire as an offering to the gods. And I have to be careful not to hurt myself and not to get burned, because though I come from the fire, I didn't get burned. And now is not the time for me to get burned. I need to be old, and I need to be strong. I need to be ready for the Exodus, and I need to be ready for the resistance. And long live the resistance, long live the Exodus. And just look at that. Look how beautiful it is. You should at least get you a out place to burn a fire, to have a little contained buka where you can pray and make offerings. You know, you don't have to have all the good herbs and spices like me. Whatever you get from your garden or from your yard, if you don't have a yard, you can go borrow and weed somebody's yard for them and bring it over and burn it in your yard. And if you don't have a container like this, you can dig a pit and make a hole and just burn it in the hole. The gods will thank you for it, and they will remember you, and they will come to your aid always. I bless you as always, and I'll see you soon as always. You know, the Negro people of the United States of America, they taught me that God is good, and that all the time God is good. And I took that saying and that belief, and I made it that the ancestors are good. And all the time the ancestors are good, and all the time the ancestors will answer your prayers and your call for help. Everyone knows that I need help. Mama Sin knows I need help. Auntie Yvonne knows I need help. Auntie Ines knows I need help. Fedelin knows her grandson needs help. And without their help, I would not be here today speaking to you. Without the power of my voodoo, I wouldn't be here today speaking to you. As you look at that fire come from being dead to being alive, know that there is truth in the resurrection, and the resurrection is true. Over there is a tree that Mimi planted. It died, and I brought it back to life the same way I had brought her back to life. And nobody have came to kill it, so it's still there. But they killed her. And they came for me on June 27th, 2023, with a sinister plot to have me committed. But they failed. And now they have to go back to the drawing board. And while they do that, we're planning the movement of resistance and we're planning for the Exodus, both at the same time, but we cannot leave without God in our back. We have to be mindful that we would be bushwhacked or ambushed, and we got to look behind us. This here are the remnants and the trimmings from what's called a crepe myrtle. When I grew up, I thought about that the 3 days to take the fucking stick from to beat my ass. Coming to find out it's a crepe myrtle, and Mimi asked me to plant a couple over there so we can have some privacy. And I did it in a very bad winter, and there was some very, very, very weak plants that I took from the back side of the yard over here where these big crepe myrtles were that I just cut down. And I put it in the ground. And to my amazement, they grew and they survived and they grew tall. But Mimi would not be there to see them. She would have been called away. And now I can only reach her by the fire ceremony and the fire sacrifice. And so I will put some of this crepe myrtle right here in this fire, as green as it is. And it will come to life. It will burn. It will burn in the fire. And it will let her know that her command and her wishes were accomplished in this life. And then I'll ask her, I'll say, you know, those guys that came and got me, and that Chinaman, can you please take care of him for me? Take care of him for me and take care of those officers for me. I don't have the means. I mean, we don't want to go that way. We don't want to go that way. We don't want to have no conflict with nobody. Not yet. Until the time is right. Until the time of the resurrection. When this tribe is resurrected and it becomes strong and it is feared and it is known the world over and feared the world over. Only this time can we fight in physical war. Until then, it's all spiritual war. And today you see the manifestation of our spirituality and of our voodoo and of our worship. And those who doubt the truth of it, it's okay. But I can assure you that through this fire, I'm asking for certain things and for certain victories that will come to pass very soon. I bless you as always, as your Pope and as your leader and as a representative of God on earth. I bless you. I'm sitting here waiting for the ancestors to respond to my call. As you can see, both of the fires are simmering. They're dead. They have very little oxygen. They have not yet fired up. When the spirit comes, they will roar in a strong force. I cannot make them go faster. You see, there is but a small smoke. But soon they will roar, because no time other than now, than when we need the help of our ancestors, we need their protection for the journey of the Exodus and the journey of the resistance. They both go together. And today we will ask them to look over those who have committed acts of evil against us. For no act of evil shall ever go unanswered, and they'll never go unresponded to. This is the principle of the voodoo and of the voodoo worshipper. And soon you will see this fire raw.
Here you see how these folk just pack haphazardly, and
So right here, we got the organic spinach, and we got the store-bought crab meat. Very expensive. Can't be thrown away. You gotta eat it. No matter if you like it or you don't like it. I'm gonna mix it here a little bit at a time with my spinach and my garlic and my onions. And I'm going to have a little bite. That is good. That is good. Now this is what you call foraging for food. How you have to know how to get food when there's no food. And we have so many plants in our yard growing that is actually food. And some of it I see in the Asian stores being sold. Others I've read about online and in this book. And I'll tell you one thing about this spinach. If you eat it just by itself, you can pretty much taste the iron in it and the healthiness in it. You know, I didn't feel to cook or eat today. And sometimes I don't feel like eating. But now I'm getting excited about eating. Oh, I think I saw some tomatoes in the front yard. Some ripe tomatoes. I'll have to get them tomorrow. I think it's cherry tomatoes. The cherry tomatoes started to bear. The big ones in the back haven't done anything yet. They got flowers, but they don't have no fruit. And I was just in time to get the cucumber. Oh, that crab meat tastes good tonight. That crab meat is tasting really good. So I'm going to put it all up in my spinach. I'm going to mix it with the spinach. And I'm going to eat it. I'm going to eat it like a gritty person. Gritty Pete. That's my name, Gritty Pete. That crab meat tastes good. What did I do with that crab meat? How did I prepare it? I don't remember. But it tasting better now than it did the first time I fixed it. The first time I did it, to me it didn't taste as good. It got a little fish in it still. But now, it tastes so good. You see, I got my crab meat. I'm going to mix it with my spinach. So I got a source of protein and a source of iron and vitamins and antioxidant. And it is all organic. The only thing it might have in it is some rabbit urine and an occasional urination, but I don't urinate that much to be able to urinate across the whole yard and to fertilize all of the spinach. I tell you, what I got to do next is figure out how to grow some proteins in my yard. From chickens, or hog, or goat. And then, I got to get back to growing my grapes so I can make wine every year. Every year I've been making wine. When I get my privacy fence, and those people can't look over their cameras unless they want to see me fucking or something. Since they want to keep watching, I'm going to fuck in the backyard and let them watch me fuck. This is good. You see? There is no restaurant in the world that can make you a dish like this. You cannot get this dish anywhere. You can't go here and pay nobody no money, no amount of money to fix you something like this. First, they don't even know what wild spinach is. And they do not know the nutritional richness of this food. They think it's for poor people and peasants, but believe me, no matter where you are, you may feel you're too good to eat this. But I'm telling you, I'm going back to the basics. I'm going back to what my great-grandmother used to feed me. And I'm harvesting this wild plants in my yard. I'm foraging for my food because I got to be ready when Walmart, Kmart, and Walgreens and Whole Foods and Kroger and Albertsons are unable to deliver our food. Okay, that's fine.
That's fine. Okay. Yeah, I'll take the He just showed up. I got that.
Yes, can you please send a police to 2520 Trail West Lane? Trail West Lane. Yes. I am calling from 214-394-7864 and I have an Asian man over here threatening me at my own house and I'm about to shoot him. I'm about to shoot him because he's on my land, on my property, and he's threatening me. An Asian man. He works for some roofing company that is working over here without a permit and without authorization, only for a bunch of undocumented immigrants. My name is Peter Lander. No, I do not, but I'll go get one if this man keep harassing me. The only weapon I have is a camera and a phone. And well, this is what happened to the cucumbers. They were so good. They were so organic. And it tastes so well. I ate every last drop of it. What's left here is some onions and some garlic. And I'm going to put the, the spinach in here. The spinach tastes very organic. You can taste the iron in it. The next thing I have to do, I got some wine. It is store-bought, but I have homemade wine, organic wine. I need to bottle my wine and start drinking my wine. I don't know what the hell I'm saving my wine for.
This is the home of my Jewish brother. He had his roof replaced too. I'm sure he probably didn't have a permit, and the company that's doing the work probably isn't even registered to the city of Plano. But you know, it's my Jewish compatriot. I'm not complaining against him. I'm just saying that if there were any policies in place, if the HOA had sent out an email to everybody to say what you have to do to comply, and the city itself had made some necessary arrangements to inform people, then people would not just be throwing up roofs without city permits and then having noise very loud, very loud. If my music was playing as loud as these nails being shot into the roofs, I'm sure the police would have been called on me multiple times. So the thing is, I'm sure they're permitted to do what they're doing, but that's given that they have the right authorization, which includes a city permit and an HOA approval. Anyway, this is my report. This is my day on July 10th. A collection of photographs of the roofs being replaced at the fairways of Ridgeview with no supervision, with no code enforcement, with no city permits, with no application for permission from the Architectural Control Committee. But certainly, I want to warn you now, you can do these things, and these things can be done if you're a European or what they call a white or Caucasian person, if you're a Chinese person, if you're an Indian person, if you're an Arab person, if you're a Bangladeshi person, but certainly if they see you as a Negro or a Negro Jew, please do not attempt to put a roof on without a permit or without going to the HOA, because they will, I promise you, they will for all of a sudden come to you and say there is a rule to get a permit for the city. There is a rule to go to the Architectural Control Committee. But as you can see, all these people and all these roofs were and are and will be put up without a City of Plano permit and without any type of application to the Architectural Control Committee. As you can see, many of these people doing this work are undocumented immigrants. And that tells you that Plano is a sanctuary city. If you're an undocumented immigrant anywhere in the United States of America, and you're looking for a place where you can work without harassment, and you can work and you can make a living to support your family, I want to invite you to come to the city of Plano, to come to Collin County, Texas, where we are in need of undocumented workers so that we can keep our homes beautiful, we can keep our lawns mowed and manicured and looking nice and green. Now, granted, we are right-wing Republican conservatives and we're anti-immigration. We don't really like you. But so long as you know your place and you do what you have to do, you put our roofs on for us in 107-degree Fahrenheit weather, you cut our grass in 107-degree Fahrenheit weather, that's all we want you to do, and then you get your ass off and you go back to the hood where you are, whether it's in Garland or Mesquite or whatever place you find refuge in that you can live in when you come to North Dallas. But I want you to know you're welcome to North Dallas. So long as you know that you're here to work as a slave for subhuman wages while your overseer, who will most likely be a white man. This company right here, JL Roofing, is not registered with the city of Plano. I called to check on it, and either the young lady was not too sensible of how to look it up, but she said they were not registered. And she kept telling me she couldn't hear me and all that. I don't know if she was pretending. But as you can see, this is 100% documentation of the work that is being done here. And actually, this is an old video. This is an old video. I haven't even put together the previous early videos and provided all of the addresses which I have on file that have done a roof replacement without a city permit. So what can I say and what can I do? Nothing really. All I can do is make a video and publish it on YouTube and talk about it. The last time I tried to report it to the city of Plano, who claimed they didn't have resources, they said they have to rely on citizens like me to report it. They sent the police to my home. A Chinese man named Alan Wu of Dallas Custom Roofing. I took pictures at 2517 Trail West Lane directly in front of me where he had an operation going putting on a roof. And Alan Wu was guilty of something, maybe money laundering, or maybe Alan Wu is a deep undercover Chinese People's Liberation Army spy in the United States of America, and why it is that he came and attacked me and told me that my house did not belong to me, and he called the police, and the police agreed with him, and they came and they arrested me. I like to see how they do the work with the roofing. This particular crew had a mechanism to send up the shingles. The other crew I will see at my Jewish brother's house was still carrying it up on their shoulders. So I thought that was interesting. One company had invested in technology to help its workers, and another chose not to. So Alan Wu has something coming for him. He don't know what it is yet, but it's coming. And Alan Wu is going to see that Jesus is real. And you see, this is my Jewish neighbor's house. And I was looking at how they nailed in the shingles compared to what I saw them doing on my neighbor's house. This is some other house. I don't know which one it is, but I'm sure I have the address on the photo and on the video. But all of this is in the Fairways of Ridgeview subdivision. And we have to go and ask them, well, what's going on? What happened to the rules? What happened to the regulations? What happened to the bylaws? And then we have to ask the city of Plano, and we have to call ICE, because we want to know why so many undocumented immigrants, cheap labor, can just flood the neighborhood. We don't know who they are. I'm scared of them. I'm afraid for my safety. They might come and they might sodomize me. They might sodomize me and rape me because, like Trump said, they do not send us their best.